Hello, Circle here. Welcome back to You Can Do Better, the only craft show on the internet where your end product will probably look better than ours. Today, we're going to be making a film strip wallet or something. Now, I know this is quite a niche project, but as you can see, I have roughly 45 feet of this Super 8 film, so I'm gonna try and make something out of it. The things you will need for this project are film, some different kinds of tape. I've got duct tape and regular masking tape, and a pair of scissors. So, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is decide how wide or how tall your wallet or pouch or whatever will be. So I think I'm going to take this strip and cut it in half and then match all the other strips to that length. And you're going to cut out a bunch of strips to match each other. So now we have two strips, and when you fold them like this to make a loop, that's about how wide it's going to be. So I'm going to cut a bunch more of those, like that. Okay, sorry about the angle change. I knocked it over, but I wanted to show you that, so these are the pieces that I've cut already to be all the same length. I have about 15, I think. Here's the extra, which is important. You should also save all these little short pieces because they will also come in handy for the next step, or I guess in a couple steps. So you're gonna take the strips and see how they've got like a natural curve to them. We're gonna use that to our advantage, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna tape each loop closed, like this. And for that, we're just gonna use the clear tape. You really don't need that much. You could probably even get 2 loops with 1 piece of tape, so that's what I'm gonna do. And you wanna just line up the loops so that they are right next to each other. Maybe leave a little bit of space, and you will see why. And there you go. So they look a little funny right now, but I promise we're getting somewhere. Eventually, this will look like something. Just to demonstrate how to do it. It's not incredibly difficult, this bit, but I don't think I was in the frame the first time I did it, so try it again. There you go. Second set of loops. These aren't as close together as the first two. Might try and fix that later, might not, but pretty boring, so I think I'll just go ahead and skip to the next bit. So now what we're gonna do is you're gonna take more tape, and you're just gonna line up all the loops right on the edge of the table here. Actually, I lied. We're not going to do that, but we are going to tape all of the loops together. So I'm going to just keep building up the pairs that I got going here. So I'm going to put these two together, and then at the point where they meet, I'm going to overlap those 2 strips with another piece of tape. So that way I have a bundle of 4 strips. And I'm just going to keep doing that. And the edge is going to look a little bit funny, which is why, number 1, you're using clear tape, but number 2, you shouldn't see this in the end product, and you will have to just stick around to find out how we're gonna solve this problem. See, now we're starting to get somewhere. We've got something that actually looks like a shape, sort of. So what we're gonna do with our weird set of loops is we're going to weave the film. And the way we're gonna do that is you're gonna look for the natural curve of the film again. That's gonna go towards the bottom, okay? So then what you're gonna do is starting on one end that you want to be the top. I'm going to go with this end right here. You're going to tape it down. A lot of tape being used in this craft. You're going to tape it down only to the top strip, and you can overlap it as far to the side as you need because there's going to be another strip going there in a minute. Oops, sorry, there. And then you are very simply going to weave this strip in and out. So we started over, so next one's going to be under. Then over the third one, under the fourth. And just keep going like that until you reach the bottom edge. So there you go, we've reached the bottom. So now flip it over and you go back up the other side. And it's going to be the same sort of deal. Start over, then under, over, then under. Make sure that you pull it through every, oops, try that again. Make sure you pull it through every couple of rows to make sure it doesn't get tangled and pop itself out. And I might actually bend it a little and put a little crease right here just so that it stays slightly better. And there you go. You've done your first row. Actually, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna run my fingers along the edges of these strips and make a little fold at the end. I should have done this before, but I didn't, and that's okay. So by folding them, they'll be a lot easier to work with. They'll be a lot less fidgety because they'll be flat instead of curved, and I think that should be helpful. So now all the edges have been crimped down nice and flat. The whole thing is lying a lot flatter, which is great. So what I'm gonna do, and this should also help secure this over to the edge, I'm gonna cut it right at the top. Save this, could be used later. And then I'm gonna just tape that end to that top strip. So that's the first row. You're just gonna repeat that until you reach the other end. Okay, y'all, it's been approximately 75 years, but we have made it to the final row. And as I'm about to show you, there is nothing special about this row. It's literally just the last one before we reach this weird folded edge. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it and you get to watch. Also, it hasn't actually been 75 years, obviously. It's been 45 minutes. So, you know, my initial estimate of 20 was a bit optimistic, but you know, you live and you learn. We made it. Also, this row is gonna be kind of difficult because there's just not a lot of space left to really maneuver, but it's gonna be so satisfying when we're done. So it's all worth it in the end. Okay, there you have it. You have finished the weaving, but we are not done yet. No, no. That would be too easy if we were done now. So now, remember all these little strips? They're all over here that I kept telling you to save and then just completely disregarding. Well, if you have any wonky spots or holes that are bothering you, I don't have any particularly holy spots that are really bothering me. But if you do, you can take these little strips and just kind of like shove them in, and that'll close the gap. But again, I don't really have any of those. I have a couple spots like right here where I messed up the weaving a little bit, and there's another one of those right here. But again, those don't bother me because I know I'm not a professional and I'm not a perfectionist. I cannot get over how cool the inside of this looks. Okay, so the final step to making this pouch beautiful is to take a different kind of tape. I'm going with this because it's the only other kind of tape I have. What you're going to do is you're going to measure it to the side of your pouch, cut it to be that long, or I guess you could rip it if you're really strong, but I'm not. Then just cut enough that it'll cover, the weird tape edges. So that's going to be about half of the strip. And then you just lay this on top of the tape to give yourself a nice clean-ish edge. I think that looks nicer than the edge we had before. And I'm going to use this other half of the tape piece on this other end just because the film is a little bit wonky and I would like it to be less so. So now just cut off any excess on the bottom there. So now your sides look all nice, but the top still looks funny. So we're gonna just do the same exact thing for the top. So pull out a strip to be as long as the top, and then do the same thing where you're gonna just cut it or rip it in half. I'm gonna cut it because it doesn't need to be that wide, and you may as well conserve your resources. So put one piece off to the side, lay the other piece very carefully along the top. Now this is important. Make sure you don't stick the top together because that will undo all of your hard work into making it a pouch. Fold it into the inside. Now you have one nice edge. I'm just going to do the same to the other side. And there you have it. Your Super 8 woven film strip pouch for all of your tiny open pouch needs. Don't forget, yours will probably look better than this. If anyone ever tries to recreate this, please send us pictures. Our email is in the About section of our YouTube channel page. Seriously, like if anyone ever decides to do this other than me, I would love to see it. So shoot us an email. Yeah, I think that's it. Have a nice day.